Hello. Today I'm going to go over 3 things that I have retained, that I have learned from Dr. Strangelove's lectures. The first one being one of the things he talked about early on, which was showing up to your life. If you do not show up to your life, no one is going to do it for you. That was the general gist of it. I think that's something that still resonates with me to this day because it's extremely true, and it's something very simple that most people don't think about, right? Like, they want to be successful, they want to have career successes, life successes, academic successes, but they're not ready or they're not willing to take that first step towards showing up for themselves. But if you don't show up for yourself, no one else will. It's up to you to take that first step to make that first effort towards success, to make that first effort towards bettering your life and reaching the heights you want to reach. The second thing I learned from Dr. Strangelove's lectures is I think this was around the week where we had field report 12, 13, something like that to do, and people were complaining because the subject matter, the words that Dr. Strangelove would give during his lectures were getting progressively, well, not progressively, but were kind of depressing, and like people thought it anxiety ridden, right? It just made people anxious and depressed, and it wasn't really the cheeriest of subject matters, right? And Dr. Strangelove took a tangent in class to talk about how when he's explaining these things, it's not to make people feel anxious or sad or whatnot, but it's more so illustration on the state of the world, the state of affairs in the world, what's going on, and how those things are going to affect not only the world right now, but also our futures. And that if it is negative or anxiety ridden, then that displays how there needs to be a certain change within the state of affairs. And from then on, I don't know if no one else complained. Well, it was never mentioned again, but it just kind of gave a new flavor to what he was telling us, right? Because yeah, it was anxiety ridden. Yeah, it was mad depressing, but it was more so fuel on trying to do better ourselves, and also in the future where we are in our lives trying to do better in the world. I'm running out of time, but the last thing that I learned from Dr. Strangelove was more so how like media as a whole has shifted or like is warping perceptions of individuals, themselves, individuals, others, and their position in society and within the world. Videos like Polyester Bride, the technology, I forget the name of the song, but the technology video from Justin Timberlake, all the different articles that we read really just drive in the point that media has an extremely big role to play in propagating and stoking the fire of like gender norms, gender roles, and whether it's negative or sometimes positives, that they have a big role to play in how people feel about themselves within these societies. And just to keep that in mind, to keep in mind that we're not meant only like boxed in, right? That we don't have to act the way media tries to push us or direct us towards acting. And yeah, those were 3 things that I learned from Dr. Strangelove's lectures.